That's exactly what it is. If you have absolutely nothing positive to offer the planet, you become a toxic drama farmer. And then you make crappy videos about people, degrading them, saying they did things they didn't do, restreaming them and copying their content without legal permission, sitting there and saying that they actually did and said things that never happened, but you spin it for your own purposes so you can get clickbait, and morons will throw you money. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And what a way to start the so-called new year. And I say so-called because when you look outside, did anything change from December 31st to January 1st? No, it's still the middle of the winter. The new year does not start until the earth starts to renew itself. Meaning what? When the life of the earth starts to come back, the shrubs, the grass, the flowers. And I say that because the calendar is not on a piece of paper or an app on your phone. The calendar is in the sky. These things were designed for signs and times, all right? It's just interesting to me that Phil decides he's going to start this new wave or this new outlook by talking about the same things he always talks about. So let's get into it.
5, I want you to think about how much stuff we ditched, right? I want you to think about this. All the mobile game nonsense, the WWE champions bullshit, all that is gone. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all dead. It's dead topics. It's in the past. It doesn't even affect me or apply to me anymore.
That would only make sense if you were no longer playing it. Just because you say something does not make it true. Now we know he's trying to push this narrative that these things are no longer relevant because ultimately he doesn't want his fans thinking about it and or bringing it up, especially when they're considered giving him money. So he wants them to feel like that's not even on the table anymore, even though we know that is the damn table.
How about all the long-running memes about DSP is an ongoing beggar? DSP is someone who's only in it for the money. DSP is all about his goals, and that's all he cares about, right? Well, guess what? There's no more goals. There aren't anymore. It's been over a month. In fact, well over a month now, and I'm not doing goals. We're not trying to hit arbitrary milestones.
You really think he says something there? Phil, you got rid of so-called goals, but they still exist. They just don't exist anymore formally. Because when you don't hit your so-called goal, you act the same way as you did before when you didn't hit it. So obviously the goals still exist. Moreover, when you talk about how you haven't begged for money for a month, is that somehow supposed to undo you begging for money for 15 years? I mean, come on, man, let's be real about this. And it's not like you stopped begging. You just changed the method in which you begged. So you can't even make that statement definitively.
In fact, when it comes to DSP Tries It, when it comes to monthly marathons, we don't have to qualify for them. I just do it just for fun. By the end of 2025, I became the master of my own destiny for the first time in a very long time. And
so basically what he's saying is the goals still exist, even though they don't really exist. So what actually happened here, Dents, is he's still requiring the same things of you while giving you less. Just think about that.
instead of it being all about doing this and hitting this and having to do that, none of that applies anymore. Okay? So
then why have you for the last 3 days talked endlessly about what do we need to do? Because when you say what do we need to do, what you're really saying is what do I need to do to extract money from you? Why is those conversations happening if you're not worried about money and you no longer have goals, Phil? If you no longer had goals when you didn't hit $150, you would just check out like you normally do, right? So obviously the goals still exist.
great stuff, right? Absolutely amazing. And let them continue to content farm and be miserable, because here's the truth. Those people are miserable. I want you to think about something, all right? Really now, matter-of-factly think about it. If you want something to be clip farmed, this will be what they're going to clip farm. So
okay, so I just want to say real quick before he goes on this stupid rant, and sometimes, honestly, I feel like I'm picking on this dude because he's just so dumb. I mean, oh my goodness. But Phil's going to try his best attempt at shaming you out of detracting. So let's hear what he has to say.
get ready for this, okay? Every single day I come to stream. I get to sit down and hang out with an awesome audience of people who are like-minded to me. They like video games. They get to enjoy different games every day. Sometimes it's an RPG, sometimes it's an FPS, sometimes it's a fighting game, sometimes it's a puzzle game, sometimes it's a driving game, sometimes it's just a chill experience, whatever it is. It's a good variety of content, so I never get bored, and I get a good audience for each kind of content that I create. Every time that I sit in this chair, I feel refreshed and happy that I get to make content that people care about.
Is that why you're always late? Is that why you also have to be inebriated to do your job on a regular basis? If this is why you always have this scorned look on your face when you're playing video games, because you just love it so much. Phil, love is one of those raw emotions that people can feel coming off of you. How many of you have looked at a picture of a couple or something and said, wow, you can tell they really care about each other? And I know sometimes people can act, right? But ultimately, that's something that all of us have experienced. So it's very easy for us to recognize. And when we see you every single day, Phil, that's not what's coming off of you. What's coming off of you is desperation. What's coming off of you is uncertainty. And what you attempt to do to circumvent those things is to try to superimpose your thought process on everybody else. And it just doesn't apply.
And depend on every day. People say I'm one of the most dependable content creators out there. And I'm absolutely excited for that. I want people to feel like DSP Gaming is a place you can come just enjoy games at face value and have a good chill time and not have to worry about any of that drama and crap from the outside. Okay, literally, we don't let that drama and crap affect us. Instead, we're just here to chill and have a good time and actually unplug from the drama of the real world when we're here together, right?
Wrong. Because if that was the case, why are you always talking about detractors? Why are you always talking about money? Why are you always talking about how things have been going good or bad financially? All right. That's one of the last things people want to hear about. So the truth is, the dense lives are so bad that they believe plugging into what you have going on is a worthy alternative to their life, not ours, theirs. That's how pathetic they are. And ultimately, that's how pathetic you are.
Now, it's not to say that we ignore it all. If there's gaming news or whatever, we'll cover it and we talk about it. But for the most part, we're just here to enjoy each other's company and have a great positive time. That's what I like. So I want you to think about that environment, all right? Where every day we're just here and we're really positive and enjoying everything that we're doing. Now I want you to think about the drama farmer.
See, but Phil, that's just not true, man. And this is the problem with these rants, because people have eyes and people have ears, which means we can see and hear very well on our own. We don't need you to tell us or interpret what we heard, or you try to change into something else which you claim we saw. That's not how reality works. You cannot undo what we've already seen and heard as much as you would like to. This is why these things don't make sense, because all these do is paint you in a negative light, Phil, because you're not recognizing reality. There's nothing chill or fun about your streams at all. Not even a little bit.
The content farmers out there. Literally every day, they have to go down into the trenches of the filth of the internet. They have to find a new person that embarrassed themselves. They have to find a new toxic thing that happened. Someone got arrested. Someone exposed themselves on stream. And this is their experience of...
You see how he's sitting here telling on himself, but he thinks this is an indictment on other people. Every day, people have to go to the trash, quote unquote, of the internet. So, Phil, what are you saying about yourself? Now, to be frank, I appreciate your honesty, even though that was not your intent. But again, what really are you saying about yourself? Listen to what you just said. They have to go to the trash of the internet. I would argue that, yes, Phil, you are the trash of the internet.
Of what they have to do on the internet every day. They're literally in the trenches of garbage, of internet trash, the bottom of the barrel. And this is their existence every single day.
No, Phil, that's your existence every single day. We are documenting that existence every single day. We're just a cameraman. We don't actually live there, though. We're not in those conditions. We're not begging for money. We're not desperate. We're not any of those things. We're just documenting you do it.
Now, they present themselves as if they're above it, but in reality, those kinds of people aren't above anything. If all you do is involve yourself with garbage, guess what you are? Garbage. Because the only...
Okay, so let's examine that for a second. Because you claim that the Kino Casino are monkeys and drama farmers, but you involved yourself with them. Not only that, you tried to link up with LTG countless times. He didn't want to do it, and you lost your mind about it. Then you linked up with Rings of Redemption. You tried to do it again. He wanted nothing to do with you. When all else failed, then you went to the lowest of the low and got Ethan Routh on your damn stream. So who is really associating with the trash of the internet here?
The only way that you can ever get anything positive out of anyone is by making fun of other people on their worst day. If your best day of work is because someone else had a bad day, you're not doing anything meaningful whatsoever to a single person on earth.
What an incredibly ignorant statement to make. But this is what happens when your thought process is only based on you. You're not thinking about anybody else. So what about journalism? And I'm not talking about gaming journalists. I'm talking about actual news journalists who pop stories, right, and get headlines because they're outing some politician who did something wrong. Maybe there was some ring or some corruption that was going on, which is objectively bad. But that makes it so that journalist has a good day, Phil. So what really are you talking about? And on top of that, what about people who are in service, who look out for other people as part of their jobs? Now, and that's something you don't understand because every time you deal with other people, it's strictly transactional. But you can't fathom the idea of people looking out for somebody without expecting anything in return.
Didn't exist, everything would still continue. I want you to think about this. If tomorrow I decided I would never stream again, there would have been an entire ecosystem of people who would say, Phil's gone, I can't believe it. So I can't watch his content, I can't enjoy it, or I can't make fun of it, I can't clip farm it, I can't drama farm it. An entire ecosystem of thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not even hundreds of thousands of people would say, damn, DSP is gone, now there's a gap. And that sucks. It's leaving a void in content creation on this planet. If the drama...
Did this man say on this planet? But again, this gives you some insight into how important he believes he actually is. He thinks because if he went away that, the detractors would be twiddling their thumbs and wouldn't know what to do. Phil, we created these channels to detract on you. Number one, to keep people from falling for your nonsense and just to bring overall awareness to what type of person you are. That's it. So if you went away, that would be mission accomplished. So what are you talking about, dude?
farmer content creators disappeared tomorrow, no one would give a shit because they would say, oh, well, move on to the next, because they're all disposable.
Phil, again, you're talking about yourself. You're disposable. You left for a week. And what happened? Everything went on as planned. It was business as usual. And on top of that, you have 15 years of nonsense that if people really wanted to, they can reheat and flip and do whatever with. All right. So what really are you talking about? This is nonsense.
All meaningless people, because all they do is keep generating and propagating this same toxic content. They're a dime a dozen. Anyone can do it. Anyone can be good at it. Anyone can make money doing it. And honestly, doing that is the easy way out when you have no talent.
And that's what I mean when I said that Phil is trying to shame detractors into stopping detracting on him. Darksydephil is going to tell you that you don't have any talent. Now, I would love for Phil to say on his next stream and or podcast what his talents are, what his skill set is. What could you offer a company that does what you do, Phil? With 20 years of experience, what could you offer them? Nothing. So what are you talented at? The only thing you're good at is making people who are unsuspecting and a little slow feel sorry for you. That's the only thing you're good at.
That's exactly what it is. If you have absolutely nothing positive to offer the planet, you become a toxic drama farmer. And then you make crappy videos about people, degrading them, saying they did things they didn't do, restreaming them and copying their content without legal permission, sitting there and saying that they actually did and said things that never happened, but you spin it for your own purposes so you can get clickbait and morons will throw you money.
So why is there a classification on the internet known as lolcows? Because the internet is full of personalities and people that you can watch for a myriad of reasons. But there's this subsect that exists on the internet that is allocated as lolcows, and Phil, you fall into that category. And the question is why? Because detractors could pick anybody to make videos on, but we would need substance. We would actually need something to create the content on. The other personalities on the internet are not providing that. You know why? Because they're actually entertaining. They actually care about the viewer's experience and are actually there to be a streamer. You're just there to extract money. You berate people. You treat people like shit on a daily basis. So detracting on you is a necessary evil, regardless if you like it or not. It is what it is. And just like you say, you always gonna be here forever. Guess what? I will be too. And guess what? I transform every single damn video. So I don't give a damn about what you're talking about with regard to copyright and content ID and all this nonsense. You can't do nothing with me. Not now, not ever.
That's the worst level of content on the internet. And that is something that I am not going to be involved in anymore. I want you to understand that, yes, there was an experiment that had to happen. We had to go through it. We had to grow from it. And I feel like we have.
Now, you see how he framed that? At one point, he went through the drama and he had to. But why? So he's going to say that he went through it and that he had to go through it, but he's not going to give you any context as to why. He's only saying this to justify it because everybody knows it did happen. So again, this is a case of Phil doing something and him massaging the situation to make it appear as if it's not as bad when he does it, when other people do it. You're a lolcow. When people think about internet trash, they think about you.
I feel like we've been in the trenches of the slop. We've seen what the slop content is, and we've crawled out. We came out the other end, and there's still all these people in our tail view, our rear view, who are stuck back there, who are gonna be stuck there because that's all they can ever do. I said it before and I say it again. Once you put the clown makeup on, you can't ever wash it off.
That's very true. But that also explains why you are in the situation that you are in, Phil. And you keep talking about people who want to be drama farmers or toxic content creators as if they had aspirations to do other things. Some people just want to detract on you, Phil, and that's good enough. You're the one who has aspirations to be a chill, fun gamer, but you keep getting caught up in nonsense because you can't keep your mouth shut and you're too emotional. That's your fault, Phil.
So once you degrade yourself to be that's who you are. You're the drama farmer. You're the person who's a defamatory content creator. You're done. You're now stuck doing that endlessly, and you can never, ever recover. If any of them ever wanted to be a serious creator of any kind, no one would give a crap because they've already degraded themselves to be with the toxic stuff forever.
Define serious. Serious like what? Playing video games? Begging people for money? Eating pizza and fast food on stream, acting like it's some type of reward, taking sponsorships and deals, but at the same time acting like you're not a shill. I mean, what really are we talking about, Phil? This is beyond pathetic. What you should have did to start your new year is have a game plan laid out for your audience or the little bit of audience that you have left and move forward, quote unquote, positively. That's all you had to do. But you keep bringing up detractors and you don't understand how you keep breathing life into us. All you're doing is pointing people to libraries that are full of information about you. And you don't understand that. You have a very hard time controlling your emotions. And I think that's largely because every time something happened, your mama was coming to give you a hug and a kiss on the forehead and telling you how special you were. And she didn't prepare you for the world properly. And this is what we have.
So I'm so happy that I refused to do what I was told. I didn't ditch everything that I loved. I didn't give up and throw in the towel and say, forget games. It's time for drama. This is what's prominent and popular now. Because that's the easy way out for pussies.
It wasn't about what was easy or what was popular, Phil. It was about you recognizing and accepting what you are. And once you did that, you can parlay that into other financial opportunities. That's it. What PPP did was give you good business advice. He didn't say that you should just stop playing games altogether. He was saying you should weave other things into your content, Phil, so you can cast a bigger net. That's it. And instead of you being appreciative of the things that he taught you and the knowledge that you gained while working with him, all you can do is say negative things about you when realistically he kept you afloat for a long time when you were floundering. But look how appreciative you are.
When you're a coward, when you're a pussy and you have no talent, you give up on what you love and instead you just do what's easy and you take the easy paycheck. I've never done that. I've never taken the easy paycheck. I never took the big sponsorship deals. I never took the games for free that I could have back in the day. I could have got so much when I was a prominent YouTuber, and I said no. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon Collector's Edition from Questline and Awakened Realms. Because if I do that, I will change as a person. My content will not be genuine. I refuse to play that game. And so many went that route. So many went the route of the shill and the sellout.
No, they did not go the route of the shill or the sellout. What they did was monopolize their opportunities. And in doing so, they lessened their burden on their audience. So they created an environment where I can create content for you constantly on a daily basis, never having to ask you for a thing, because I've used what I am bringing to this platform and I've leveraged it to get opportunities from businesses. So that's a good thing. But you call them shills. So what are you then? Seriously, what are you? At least the viewer can get something out of that. You know, they get a discount on a product that they were already interested in. But what do people get from you from giving you money? Not a damn thing.
So I already forewent that path. And then last year, the path presented itself, the root of drama, the root of the content farmer. And I said, I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to march to the beat of my own drum. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to persevere. It might be hard, and it might be a bloody battle, but I'm going to persevere through all of this crap, and we're going to come out better, stronger, wiser. And overall, I think people will see at the end of the day that this was all for the best.
You see how he's acting as if everything that happened to him was these outside forces acting in a benevolent way to usurp whatever he has going on, never once admitting what the real issue is. And I'll always go back to this. Phil, your problem is your gambling addiction. Period, point blank, end of story. Had you taken care of that a long time ago, you would be in a much, much better place now. And it's very sad because usually the barrier for that type of help is finances. Most people can't afford a therapist or a psychologist. You can, and you've chosen not to. And instead, you're going to double down on the nonsense, retconning, and creating narratives so people can see you in a more favorable light instead of just correcting your damn behavior so people can eventually see you in a better light anyway, Phil. You cannot deceive adults on a regular basis. It just does not work. The shit that you do only works on children or people who have the minds of children. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.